About the 80/20 rule, you really need to have the 80/20 rule psychologically. You can't live in life without eating foods that you love. And so you can learn to love fruits and vegetables and healthy food, but you also have to keep in the junk food, some junk food, or just some foods that you really, really love. Because if you don't allow yourself to have that, something happens psychologically where you'll want to have it even more, right? That's what happens when you go on a diet is you are not allowed to eat foods, but it makes you want those foods even more. Instead, go by the 80/20 rule and have foods that you love, and you won't feel like you need, like you're deprived. Because you'll have access to them and freedom to eat them, you actually won't want to eat them as much just because of the psychological reason of you knowing that you can have it at any time that you want. This is the reason why I do the 80/20 rule. I try to do cheat days where I would go the whole week eating healthy and then over the weekend eat whatever I want. The problem with that is that I would mess up often throughout the week and almost on a daily basis, actually. I would mess up. And then in my mind, I would think, well, what's the point of a cheat day if I'm eating this now during the week? And this perfection, this pressure to be perfect during the week and eat only healthy food during the week is so great that if you do mess up, you get this huge burden of guilt, and it makes you think, well, now I'm going to be eating more of this stuff over the weekend, and it's just not psychologically good. And then over the weekend, I would eat so much of bad stuff that I would just overstuff myself. And the whole point of eating healthy and getting in this lifestyle of being healthy is so that you don't feel that way ever. You don't feel overstuffed. You don't have fat days. You don't feel like you're overeating. And it's really easy to do that on your cheat days. So what the 80/20 rule does is every single day, you do try to eat healthy, but you do have room to mess up. You do have room to eat junk food. You do have room to give yourself a treat. It's not going to be the majority of your day that you're doing that. And again, this percentage number can fluctuate. So if you are right now only at 50/50, where you eat healthy 50% of the time, but maybe you eat junk food the other half of the time, that's okay. Work your way up to try to get to the 80/20 or at least 70/30. And you can play around with these numbers. You don't have to feel like have to eat perfect all the time every single day. That's impossible, especially in our society. It's impossible. There's fast foods, people love their favorite restaurants. If you have to get rid of your favorite restaurant now, in 10 years, will you still be able to have that restaurant be something that you don't go to? I mean, if you can't live with it 10 years from now, then don't give it up. You have to be able to enjoy the things you love. And if you do go the route of just trying to eat healthy 100% of the time, you're going to mess up. You're going to. Even thin people who do eat healthy mess up. Sometimes they overeat when they don't want to. Sometimes they don't have any food available and they do have to go through the drive-through. And there's just so many instances where you aren't going to eat healthy or be able to eat healthy. Maybe you go to a friend's house and what they have there and you're really hungry and the only thing they have is unhealthy food. That's okay. You have to have a little bit of room to eat just whatever you want. And you won't gain weight if you have this 80/20 rule, because as long as you are trying to eat healthy most of the time and you do get anywhere from the 60% to 80% of your day eating healthy, healthy food does amazing, amazing work in your body to keep you thin and healthy. And you're just not going to be able to consume enough calories from unhealthy food to make you gain weight if you're eating the majority of your day being healthy food, if you're eating healthy food the majority of the day. And this is often why people who are on diets end up gaining weight after they come off the diet, because they deprived themselves of food that they loved. And then after, they couldn't wait to get off the diet to eat those foods again. And then after they get off the diet, it's like they eat those foods so much because they missed them. You'll never miss any food with the 80/20 rule because you'll be able to have it anytime you want, just not all day, every day. Which you wouldn't eat anyway. You wouldn't have donuts all day, every day. You would get sick of them. But you're able to have quite a few every day if you wanted to, if you ate other food during the day that was healthy as well. And so you decide what's good for you. And what's good for you is what you like, what your preferences are, what you enjoy, and also what is good for your body for the 80% of the time. So if you read an article and someone's saying to eat this food because it's so good for you, don't feel pressure to eat that food if you know you don't like it. And if it's something you wouldn't want to eat 10 years from now, right? So you decide what's good for you. Don't let society decide what's good or bad for you. If society says carbs are bad, you have to be able to know that society doesn't always know what they're talking about. So carbs are fruits and vegetables. And when they tell you not to eat carbs, they're telling you not to eat the one thing your body was designed for. So don't listen to anyone. Start to make rules for yourself and guidelines for yourself that work for you and that consist of foods that you enjoy and that you like. You're the master of food, and you also are the master of your body, and you decide what's good or bad for your body, not anyone else.